IVM.
Hi, I'm Zarina Poonawalla, your peak performance coach, life coach, emotional intelligence practitioner, and NLP practitioner. I'm also the founder of Abzo Expertise Unique, and my organization constantly aims at building leaders across continents. After having worked with so many dynamic business honchos, entrepreneurs, startups, CEOs, management gurus, parents, and student communities worldwide, I am convinced that every individual has unleashed potential, and all we really need to do is realize it. Watch the magic unfold, enhance quality of life, relationships, and professions. On my show, be ready for some riveting conversations with inspirational people, snippets, stories, and much more. So here I am on this exceptional journey to find empowerment and inspiration anywhere I can. Come join me on this breathtaking path of self-realization, potential maximization, positivity, and most of all, embrace your inner power. You are on your way to empowering yourselves. Welcome to the Empowering Series with Zarina Poonawalla. Did you know almost 80% of conversation with co-workers and friends is gossip? Apparently, we spend more time talking about another person's habits and choices as opposed to spending that amount of time on ourselves. And so it's absolutely no surprise that an average person spends around 52 minutes gossiping or backbiting in a day. Gossip is poisonous to you and your surroundings, and you have no idea the damage it can do personally, and in fact largely at your workplace too. Gossip is that devil in disguise you consider friendly communication. And here is what is most interesting to me. The ones that backbite and spread rumors are usually those with very fragile egos and higher levels of insecurity. They are usually those individuals who will go to any extent to feed their egos to feel powerful. And feeling powerful is a way to shield your low self-esteem. You know, most people find this a great way to bond at work, and almost all friend circles and offices are used to a little so-called harmless gossip. But quite frankly, in my opinion, this clearly goes to show two things. One, your friendships and co-working relationships are not based on strong bonds. Because if you have nobody to talk about, you don't have a conversation at all. And then you may no longer be part of those circles you so proudly belong to. And two, you in your right mind are literally tarnishing another person's reputation with or without their knowledge. Now that's a sign of a person who takes pleasure, sadistic pleasure, in embarrassing others. There are several research and studies which speak about how this little grapevining can be a boon or a curse. But I leave it up to you to decide what you think it really is. However, you know my love for fables, right? And ancient folk tales. So let me share one with you that may help you understand the concept slightly better. And if you think you want to cut that grapevine and stop the unnecessary rumors and gossips, then maybe this story might help you. Socrates, you may have heard the name, was an ancient Greek philosopher and probably one of the three greatest figures of the ancient period of Western philosophy. Now, he was walking on the streets of Athens one day and an acquaintance came by and he said, "Hi Socrates, how are you? Do you know, I just heard something about your friend." And Socrates was very knowledgeable, extremely high esteemed, and he said, "Oh, did you? Well, hold a minute. Before you talk to me about my friend, it might be a good idea to take a moment and filter what you're going to say." So this fellow who he just met, this acquaintance, he didn't quite get what Socrates was trying to say. So Socrates said, "This is what I call the triple filter test. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions. If you pass these 3 questions, then I'm going to listen to whatever you have to say about my friend." So this guy says, fine, not a problem, we can do that. So Socrates says, all right, the first filter is truth. Have you made absolutely sure that what you are about to tell me is true? And the acquaintance says, well, no, I just actually heard about it, so I'm not sure if it's true. Socrates turns around and says, well, not a problem. That's just the first test. Never mind. Let's talk about the second test. The second test is the filter of goodness. Is what you're going to tell me about my friend something good? So the acquaintance is a little stunned and he says, not really, Socrates. On the contrary, it's something which isn't so good. So Socrates looks at him and smiles. He says, never mind, you still haven't failed. We have one more test to go. The filter of usefulness. Is what you want to tell me about my friend going to be useful to me? So the acquaintance says, of course not. I mean, why would it be useful to you? It's just a rumor. I've just heard it. It's not good. It's not useful. So Socrates concludes, if what you want to tell me is neither true, nor good, nor even useful, why tell it to me at all? I'd like you to think about that for a moment. When you're listening to gossip, when you're listening to rumors, if it's neither true, nor good, nor even useful, why listen to it at all? Here's the deal. The real question is, do you enjoy gossiping so much and enjoy making reckless remarks that make you part of a circle and that will make you go that extra mile to spread fake news just to fit in or to leverage from it? Well, if you do, then good luck to you. Remember that if you're the one gossiping or spreading rumors, you will have 10 people doing the same about you. If you don't, make sure that nobody can touch you or unfaze you. Be safe, be well, be empowered.
If you liked this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Want to wish you all a happy Diwali. Hope you had a great festive season. It's been a great week in terms of the kinds of guests we've had and the kind of conversations we've had on the network this week. Do definitely check some of these things out. On This Round's on Me with Gauri Devi Dayal, she had a great conversation with Garima Arora, who's one of the best-known chefs in the world. It was just absolutely riveting. Do check that out. On States of Anarchy, Hamsini Hariharan spoke about chronicling India's different wars. Again, really interesting episode. Check that out. Ashton had a very interesting episode on his show, The Habit Coach. It was called I Don't Feel Like Doing Anything. It's about how to overcome malaise just generally, and I thought really, really interesting stuff. Kumi Vayana was the guest on Cyrus Says on Monday's episode last week, and she's an educator, and my God, it was such a fascinating conversation talking about the way education functions in India and some of the changes she'd like to see. Just really, really interesting stuff. Do give that a listen. On Uncle Please Sit, Anupam Manur was there with Joel and Tushar talking about the Indian economy, part one of a two-part series. Second part will be out this week. You should definitely check that out. Lastly, I want to talk to you all about the Filter Coffee podcast. Karthik Nagarajan, who hosts that show, is on a little bit of a break. He's back with a banger of an episode. It is with Himu Ramaya, who used to run Landmark Stores, and they talk about the culture of bookstores and quizzing and all kinds of stuff. Really interesting conversation. Do check that out. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
How many times have you motivated yourself to improve your sleep or lose weight or be more productive? How many times have you failed? Hi, my name is Ashton Doctor. Tune into my show, The Habit Coach Podcast, where we focus on creating small, tiny habits to improve your life instead of those big, impossible tasks. So make listening to me a habit every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com or on your favorite podcasting app.